The Allure of Atlantis, Myth, History, and Reality. The allure of Atlantis has captivated human imagination for centuries. This legendary city, described by the ancient philosopher Plato, represents both a tantalizing mystery and a powerful cautionary tale. Plato portrayed Atlantis as an advanced civilization, wealthy and technologically superior, yet one that ultimately fell due to its own hubris. The city supposedly vanished beneath the waves, lost forever to the ocean's depths. Atlantis continues to serve as an archetype for lost worlds, places where human achievement and disaster coexist, highlighting the eternal conflict between progress and self-destruction. But what is it about Atlantis that fascinates us so deeply? It's not merely the question of whether the city actually existed. It's the story itself that resonates. A mighty civilization undone by its own excess, a powerful reminder of the delicate balance between human ambition and the natural world. In many ways, Atlantis serves as a mirror reflecting our own concerns, fears, and hopes for the future. It forces us to ask, could the fate of Atlantis one day be our own? Plato's writings about Atlantis, in the dialogues Timaeus and Critias, describe a great civilization that existed around 9,000 years before his time, beyond the Pillars of Hercules, now known as the Strait of Gibraltar. According to Plato, Atlantis was a naval power, a utopia that prospered for generations until it fell out of favor with the gods due to its moral decay and aggression. This decline ultimately led to its destruction, sinking beneath the sea in a single day and night of misfortune. The city of Atlantis was said to be rich in resources, boasting intricate architecture, advanced engineering, and sophisticated governance. However, Plato's tale is often viewed as allegorical. Many scholars believe Atlantis was not a real place, but a philosophical construct, a story to illustrate broader themes about the dangers of unchecked ambition, greed, and the moral decay of societies. Through the tale of Atlantis, Plato warned that even the mightiest of civilizations could fall if they strayed from virtue. Still, the story of Atlantis refuses to stay within the bounds of philosophy alone. It beckons explorers, scientists, and dreamers alike to search for this lost world. The idea that such a place might have existed excites the imagination, an advanced civilization swallowed by the ocean, waiting to be rediscovered. Could Atlantis have been inspired by real events or lost cultures? Throughout history, many have searched for Atlantis. Expeditions have been launched, and theories abound. Some suggest that Atlantis could be found in the Mediterranean, perhaps on the island of Santorini, where a massive volcanic eruption devastated the Minoan civilization around 1600 BCE. This eruption on the island of Thera, modern-day Santorini, left ruins that some scholars believe may have inspired Plato's tale. The Minoans were an advanced civilization, much like Plato's description of Atlantis, known for their trade networks, palaces, and artwork. Their sudden disappearance aligns with the catastrophic demise of Atlantis, as told by Plato. Others point to different locations, such as the Caribbean, Antarctica, or the submerged city of Pavlopetri off the coast of Greece, as potential sites for the lost city. Pavlopetri, which dates back over 5,000 years, is one of the oldest submerged cities ever found, showcasing advanced urban planning and maritime prowess. While not Atlantis itself, Pavlopetri offers a glimpse into how ancient civilizations might have lived in sophisticated coastal cities, drawing comparisons to the legendary Atlantis. Atlantis has also deeply influenced literature and popular culture, appearing in everything from ancient texts to modern movies. The story of Atlantis sparked the imaginations of writers like Jules Verne, whose novel 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea explores the mysteries of the ocean depths, much like The Search for Atlantis. Similarly, H.P. Lovecraft's works delve into ancient, sunken civilizations that may be linked to the Atlantis myth. In more recent times, Atlantis has been portrayed in films such as Disney's Atlantis, The Lost Empire, which popularized the idea of a lost, technologically advanced society among younger audiences. These works of fiction and fantasy continue to build on the mythos of Atlantis, cementing its place in the collective consciousness as a symbol of lost worlds and forgotten knowledge. The allure of Atlantis is not only a product of its mystery, but also its symbolism. The idea of a civilization rising to great heights, only to be destroyed by its own flaws, speaks to universal themes of human nature, progress, and self-destruction. Atlantis represents the duality of human ambition, the quest for knowledge, power, and mastery over nature, counterbalanced by the risks of overreaching and arrogance. In this sense, Atlantis is not just a story about the past, it is a timeless reflection on the future. The search for Atlantis is not confined to the realms of mythology and fiction. Scientists and researchers have applied modern tools and methods to investigate whether Atlantis could have been a real place. From geological surveys to underwater exploration, researchers have looked for clues that might point to a lost civilization beneath the waves. Some scientists propose that Plato's Atlantis could be based on the memory of real-world events, such as the aforementioned volcanic eruption on Thera or other ancient disasters that wiped out coastal cities. Tsunamis, earthquakes, and rising sea levels have all contributed to the loss of land throughout history, giving rise to the possibility that Atlantis might have been inspired by a forgotten civilization that met a similar fate. One notable hypothesis involves the Bimini Road, an underwater rock formation near the Bahamas. Discovered in 1968, the Bimini Road consists of large rectangular stones that some believe are remnants of an ancient man-made structure, possibly part of Atlantis. Skeptics, however, argue that the stones are naturally occurring, the result of geological processes rather than human activity. Other scientific approaches focus on Plato's descriptions of Atlantis and attempt to match them with known locations. Some have suggested that Atlantis was located in the Atlantic Ocean, while others point to the Mediterranean or even the Black Sea. These theories are often supported by geological evidence, such as submerged coastlines and ancient riverbeds, which hint at the possibility of sunken lands that could fit the profile of Atlantis. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the scientific pursuit of Atlantis continues to inspire researchers and explorers. The possibility that a lost civilization lies hidden beneath the ocean remains an enticing mystery, one that bridges the gap between myth and reality. However, not everyone is convinced that Atlantis ever existed. Many historians and archaeologists view the search for Atlantis as a distraction from more credible research, arguing that resources could be better spent exploring known historical sites. Some critics argue that the story of Atlantis has been distorted over time, used to promote pseudoscience or political agendas. For instance, during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the idea of Atlantis was co-opted by various nationalist movements, which claimed that the lost city represented a superior race or culture. This appropriation of the Atlantis myth fueled harmful ideologies, distorting the original story into something far removed from Plato's philosophical allegory. Skeptics also point out that there is no tangible archaeological evidence to support the existence of Atlantis as described by Plato. While many ancient civilizations have been discovered through archaeology, Atlantis remains elusive. This absence of evidence leads many to conclude that Atlantis is purely a myth, a cautionary tale rather than a historical fact. Regardless of its historical veracity, Atlantis continues to hold a powerful place in the human imagination. The story speaks to our deepest curiosities and concerns about the rise and fall of civilizations, the fragility of human achievement, and the mysteries that lie beneath the surface of our world. Atlantis challenges us to reflect on our own society, to consider the dangers of overreaching in our quest for progress and power. It serves as a reminder that even the greatest of civilizations are vulnerable to collapse if they lose sight of balance, wisdom, and humility. Whether Atlantis was real or not, its legacy endures as a symbol of human ambition and its potential consequences. In the end, the story of Atlantis is as much about the future as it is about the past. It invites us to ponder the fate of our own civilization and to ask whether we, too, might one day follow in the footsteps of Atlantis, lost to the ocean of time, leaving only a memory and a cautionary tale for those who come after us. As we continue to search for Atlantis, whether in the depths of the ocean or in the pages of history, the legend reminds us that the line between myth and reality is often thinner than we think. And in that space where imagination meets truth, lies the enduring power of Atlantis.